So lambda is quite important, especially the wideband. There are narrow band, not so much. As a matter of fact, we don't use it at all. But wideband, this is actually what decides your AFRs. So new one, and then you can get the one we provide you with the part number, which is long enough, and it goes all along here. I put the wires all along there, and that is the plug. No problems, plenty of length of the wires. Is absolutely perfect, spot on. Now this is another thing. I already put it on. I don't have to show you how to, because it's only so simple. It's only 3 bolts. You know, 1, 2, 3. The third one on the back. The standard hanger, where we provide the silicone one, the better one. And this is how it ends. This is the downpipe. This is the Flexi one. Obviously, the rest is still missing. I didn't put it on. But that's what I mean about the electrical system. It's still some bits to connect, although everything is connected inside the car. There are sensors, which is the lambda, and now there's going to be a MAF sensor. I'm going to show you in a minute. So this is the exhaust. However, before you put the exhaust, do me a favor. You see the lip over there? This is quite sharp. Bend it inside, make it nice and smooth, because just in case this touches that, you know, this will cut it, this will just touch it with no damage. And exactly the same on this side. Now the intake, you could make it lower so you don't have to cut it, but this is just safety measures regardless. You know, the engine mount is gonna give up, you're gonna have more engine movement, whatever. He's gonna tap on that and he's gonna cut through that or whatever. It's just, you know, thinking about the future. This has to be user friendly afterwards, make everything reliable in time. So around that lip, around, and again, even if this touches up, because I actually do like to make them touch. I'm gonna show you later, because I'm gonna use this or one of these to keep everything nice and tight here. We've got plenty of space on the silicone holes to allow for the engine movement and vibrations. So that's something I like to do anyways. Now in this one here, I think I already have made, this is the one, I can't remember, this is the front or rear. I think this is the rear one. I'm not gonna lay it down. I'm gonna remove that mount and do this insert, because yeah, a lot of torque and I don't want it to move too much, because it will move a lot with this amount of torque. To be fair, even a standard power, I will still put them on. Anyways, so now we'll go ahead. There's another issue here. Okay, this is not standard, so probably is not gonna have the same. This is someone who assembled this turbo made a mistake, because you see the intake, the output for the vacuum or pressure. In this case, is actually pressure here. This actuator is rotating the wrong way. You see that nipple there is facing the turbo inlet. No matter what you put on a turbo inlet, that is kinking in a little. It will still probably work, but it's pretty much not acceptable. Next thing, obviously there's going to be Flexi here, which I already prepared. This is not the one you receive. You're going to receive the one that is already cut right to the size, or slightly longer, but not obviously the entire 3 meters of it. Now I'm going to show you how to put the MEF sensor where the position is, because you have to drill one hole, which is there. Let me prepare everything. I'm going to show you. Before I show you that one, is one thing I nearly forgot to show you. So this pipe here, when you receive it, is a one piece, and you have to cut this off pretty much. So the way you cut it is you leave just after the elbow there, you leave enough straight to put it on the turbo and put that jubilee clip on it, which is provided again, so roughly that much. Now there is another way to put it on. You can leave it all in one piece, and this will actually face in here, because it will be longer and you can face it up. But I find out that from here, then the Flexi, it does additional to kind of bends. It's still acceptable, but I found it this way. The bends are shallower, and now it's just better this way. But yeah, it's your choice, your car, you can do whatever you want. You can do it from the top there. If you do it from the top, yeah, just remove that lip as well. Alright, so on this one is a bit of explanation, and this you need to be quite precise. The hole you have to drill is roughly there. You see, if you draw the line between the edge of this hole and this line, that's roughly in between, and the edge of that hole is pretty much corresponding to the edge of that hole. Now if you're off a couple of mils, doesn't matter, So you roughly drill yourself, well, it should be there, drill the hole and do it. Now be careful, I'm gonna put this through the space for there's nothing behind it. Well, nothing behind it is a big board. I want to show you something. I'm gonna leave this on so we're gonna see it from inside the car. Where does it correspond? Get the light so you can see properly. There you go. You see? Exactly. So as you can see where it comes from there. So there is a space there. It doesn't go on the rubber, doesn't go through the wiring loom. However, in my case, because I put my wiring loom exactly there, if you have any wires in the way, you're gonna drill through. So this hole, ideally, you could do it at the beginning. If you don't do it at the beginning, no problems, you can do it after, but be careful. Make sure there's nothing there. Or if you drill the hole, drill a slightly smaller one. Don't go deep. Make sure there's nothing behind. You know, do whatever safety measures you want to do. Don't go through the wiring loom. If you do not call me saying my wiring loom is faulty, because it's not. All right, so be careful on that stuff. Again, not difficult, just caution. So yeah, after we've done that, we know where the hole is. We can remove this, and what we do, we grab one of these bolts, provided, so no worries. And I put it on, again one-handed, so it's a bit, you know. Let me do it actually with you here. Now, what we have here is this coming out. So we put the nut again, provided. Snug. That's it. Basically, once you put it on, it's the better way to do it. Remove the other half of it. This is there, so this nut is against the wall, not against this, because this can still rotate, but that is actually on the wall nicely. So then what you do, put the camera here. You get an air filter, specifically this is KN. This is the exact size we need because nothing else will fit. And you put it on. Now this is quite tight, which is not bad, but you have to be. Use that Jubilee clip. Remember the airflow, the arrow, the airflow, so means the air goes from here, goes up there, from here, so from the air filter. Don't do it all the way around, because guess what, it will not work. Now if you have troubles to put this on, this is what I do. Yeah, screwdriver in and just work it left and right till it pops in. That's it. Right, it's nice and tight. At this point you can even put the sensor on, no problems. Plug on the sensor, this against that, nice, and a clamp. This is the result. Now you can still remove this, rotate this, and what I like to do is to air filter. You see this, it just to rest against that, you see, just tiny bit. This is not touching it, about a couple of mil there, some space. This is the right position for it. Yes, you have to remove the quarter panel to get access to it, but once we remove those 3 rivets I've shown you, it literally is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bolts and one which is already snap on the bottom, and that's it. It comes off pretty much almost as easy as the air filter box lid, so no problems there. Now the Flexi, show you that one. Right, I want to show you step by step. It's easier. So now the Flexi, like I said, we have you have this one here. Then we have, again, we supply a piece of a metal 3/16 stainless tube to put this on, because you have to transition from 3-inch this to 3-inch this Flexi. So you have to have something inside there. So we supply that. We're gonna put something in here. I'm gonna show you. But an important thing is, you see this? Now this is exactly same as that, has a rubber inside, and it's bolted there, exactly there. Now that is your original support for the air filter induction kit. Well, no kit, sorry, the original pipe, which I've thrown away already. So you're using that, which is fun enough, same purpose, for your new Flexi. And we supply these P clips, big ones. Put the bolt there. Can't remember if we supply these bolts or not. If not, you got plenty of them left over. And then you go from here to there. Now what that does, it keeps everything nice in place. Doesn't rub anywhere with the vibrations and movements and everything. To be honest, I put them sometimes without it, and then we go inside here, the width inside here, good enough. There's no movement. But yeah, then we're gonna put another one here. I put one from here to here. Now you don't have to. You could even put a zip tie here just for this to be against this. So if you leave it, this will move and rub. If you wedge it against it, it will stay there solid. It will not move. I mean, it can touch it, but don't rub it. So this is what I mean. You have to eliminate the movement against it. There is enough space between this and this. Now, if you don't put kind of like a stronger engine mount here, the engine will have such a movement in acceleration. This goes down. In that case, I would prefer this to go lower this way, to have plenty of space for actually not touching this. But in that case, you're amplifying this bend a little. This is very minimal, is not much, but again, I'm very geeky about this stuff. If there's a little bit of improvement, even 1 degree, I want to gain from it. So again, I prefer to put a zip tie or one of the P clips here and keep this nice and steady, because the engine movement is eliminated with stronger engine mount, and that is enough. But again, if it's a standard engine mount, we need more space there, and then we're not able to use this. So put it this way. I know this is a bit geeky and all that stuff, but this small stuff makes quite a big difference, because if you do it this way, standard engine mount is gonna move a lot. You're gonna pinch that, you know, and you may have false reading from the math, because you're gonna get some air into this after the sensor, and it starts running crap, you know, or not as it should. Small things they really make a difference now as we were finishing the build, because all the big stuff, it was easy, nice and quick, and this again is very easy, but pay attention on details, they really make a difference. So okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and put this in the original place. Goes around here, and there's another hole here. There's this one here, we can use it for the P clip. There's another one here we can use for the P clip. Usually one is enough. Let me put this on and I'll show you. Now this, hope you can see good enough, because I need 2 hands for this. I need to show you how to cut this. Now usually when this pipe will arrive, there may be the right length. The worst case scenario, they're slightly longer. The reason I put them slightly longer, if any case, is to account for the worst case scenario when you have original engine mounts, you need a bit more space there, so the elbow is a little bit more amplified. It means the curvature takes a little bit more length of the flexible pipe. Plus again, it's, you know, there is not a specific 100% root on it. It's like you're making this pipe, these bands, some might have it slightly tighter, some might have it slightly wider, so we always cut them slightly longer than I will make them, just to account for this kind of adjustments, to say it. Now, once you're at this point, you want to put this inside there. So I put a P clip here. Now this P clip, these holes, I'm using these holes here, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever, whichever one you want to use. I'm using this one here. You can put a reef nut on it, so it's very easy. You don't have to put a reef nut on it if you get lazy or you don't care. Just put a nut. You can put literally, you know, well, that finger there says a lot. It's just that one there, a nut, you can hold it, put a bolt through it, and it does exactly the same job. You know, if you don't have the reef nuts, you're not gonna buy a bag of reef nuts and a reef nut gun just to put 1 or 2 of them. Just put a nut on it, it'll be fine. That's all there is to it. Now you can put another one here, but in my opinion, once you put everything here, it's really not needed, because this has no movement here. One here, and also we can put another one, like I said, you can put a zip tie, or you can put one of these. The only thing is, one of these, if you put it on, you kind of have to twist it around, because you see it's facing there, so you have to put this one here, bring it up, blah blah blah. I, in some instances, prefer the zip tie, to be honest. There you go. Job done. At this point I want to show you one thing. So as we don't use the through cable anymore, that is the bracket that holds it, we don't need it. So let's make this engine a little bit cleaner. That might be the opposite way. Go and off with it. And we have more spare bolts to use. Comes to the charge cooler system. Now first of all, you have to put the charge cooler mount. The charge cooler mount, the way it works, so first at the beginning I used to design them different. I used to build them to each charge cooler individual, but now the reason for that was because the charge cooler is the width of them, they're not always spot on to the exact millimeters. And me being geeky, I have to get it right. So what I did, we've designed this one, which is adjustable. So you can do whatever you want, whatever charge cooler you have. Well, same charge cooler, but whatever tolerances they build them to, it will fit regardless. 30mm stainless, it's all stainless, okay? Even these are stainless. Now stainless nuts and bolts, you want to put anti-seize grease. The way you put it on in a kit where you got these 3 short bolts, they are preserved, they are reserved for the charge cooler itself, don't touch them. Then you have this spacer, and you have a shorter bolt, which usually is black like this, but I run out, so using this, and the longer one. So what you do, let me grab these, I can see it better. Okay, so these are, this is the, so the engine mount that is fixed on the chassis, we're using it as the mount for the charge cooler kit. So the spacer goes here. Then we have that. Oh, sorry. Looks like I'm doing this for the first time. Then we have this. Place it on top. Actually, do you know what? The first thing I have to do, which I nearly forgot, so it really looks like I'm doing this for the first time, is grab this, because the earth stuff doesn't have to be here anymore. So remove it and remove that little thing there. It's kind of in the way. There you go. Ideally, really, you can even remove these to check them, etc. etc. I'll move them to different positions, but for now, let's just keep doing the charge cooler. So this position for the charge cooler is fixed, and this position is not fixed. I mean, look at that weld. So there is a little downside of using a very large charge cooler. I really choose and found the one that is physically the largest you can fit. The negatives of that, it is a very tight fitment. So you see the bolt there. When I bring the charge cooler on, you put the bolt before you put the bolt on the charge cooler before putting it in, because literally there's no space. Once this bolt is in the charge cooler, there is just enough space. If you move this, prime it a little bit, there you go, you see, just enough to slide it in. It's a very tight fitment, so don't lose your patience, do it. The positives of that is that the charge cooler is very large, the body and everything, and I think it's worth the little hassle, the little extra minute of your patience to do it right, do it proper, and have a large fucker up there, because it really does the job beautifully. We've tested them with over 500 brakes, and they still cool the air down incredibly good. So yeah, and as you know, it's good for everything, especially for your engine. So it really is worth having this tight, and paying us to put it in the first place. But once you've done it, it's fine, and the struggle is not finished. because now you have to put the boost pipes on a charge cooler, which they behind there, but I'm gonna show you the easiest way to do it. Aha! Almost forgot, I have my spare bum engine here. That's the line we're talking about. Sometimes they're slightly longer, sometimes they're slightly shorter, but they all fit. So that's what you do. Come on, little puppy. What is it here? Don't lose this one, because they're hard to find. This is actually half broken, but it doesn't matter. Wiggle that bastard out. Don't put too much force on it. There you go. That's what we need. It's very important. I'd rather when they chop this off, because you can unscrew it, than they don't provide it. Anyways, this is, believe it or not, this is the engine that I will have to build after mine. Very safely stored under this thing, under 150 years old trailers. But yeah, this block is supposed to be good, so we have to build it up. This will be from ground up. Nice. And just like that, magically it is fitted to the original clutch line. You see? And you put it up there. As soon as it is there, it's good enough. This will actually have, it will actually follow this route here, this here. So you see how perfect it is? This is spot on. If you have to make a custom one, it will be exactly the same. So that really works to our favor. Thank you very much, Toyota. Instead of just an installation video, I want to show you all the tips and a couple of things we found out, usually the hard way, and some little improvements. So that hard line I show you, I nicked from my gearbox, which I have to find another one. If you notice, that was straight. Can you see it there? I like to put a slight bend on it, about 45 degree or 60, whatever it is, that 30, I don't know, just slight bend, because you want that pointing down a little, otherwise that line is going to be slightly bit in tension. So do that bend there. It's very simple, you could do it by hand, don't kink it though, and so don't bend it too much. Now where do you put it? You put it into this piece. Now this is fitted like this into your gearbox line, and it has the same fitments, you know, with these being on the top. When you take them off, don't lose them, please. It's difficult to find them. But what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to show you, is on the top of this tip here, when I remove it, I removed it including this rubber seal. This rubber seal essentially sits there. I'll show you how it was. This is the way I removed it. It was like this. Now I removed it. Do you have to? Well, it depends. In this case I remove it, and I'll show you why I removed it. Because you may have to do exactly the same if you're doing like I do. So the gearbox didn't come out complete with that stuff, so you have to kind of get that stuff with this stuff, etc, etc. Because now rubber seal actually sits into this plastic bit. And if you look inside there, there's already one inside, and you can put two of them. Because you can't put two of them, you have to get this one out. Because I found that if you put the metal pipe into it when this is already in, they don't actually go in properly. You can pinch this. So a much better way to do it is to remove this one. You see, exactly the same. So sometimes when you remove these pipes, you know, these stays inside a plastic bit, sometimes on the pipe, blah blah blah. So you have to make sure there's not two of them. That's all I'm saying. So now we're gonna put this one, or either two of them, on the pipe. It clicks in because there is a specific space for it. We're gonna put this one in because I want to keep them. Then this one back on the gearbox. This bit goes on the gearbox itself. I can't show you exactly, I think now, or maybe you can see. You see there's that part there, that line there, hard line. That is a part of your bearing, release bearing, crash release bearing. So don't force it, wiggle this stuff in. Now once you got it there, I could do it before, but I'll do it later. you put one of these in. These clips. Now these clips again, you can put them before or later. Don't really matter. Maybe before will be just easier, but same stuff really. Once you know, you can put them later or before, don't matter. There you go. Then you wiggle forth and back and you can hear that click that you just did now. Now, same now with this pipe, sorry. Let's put it in. That's why you don't put the charge cooler in, because it's so much easier to work on this from the top. I can't see it myself, you probably see more than I see, because I can put the camera right in there. Don't know if it's in or not. Let's grab one of these, put it where it should be, don't lose it. Okay, and make sure this is in. Pull it. If it doesn't pull, it means it's in. There you go. That's your clutch line sorted. So it's just a couple of tips, because sometimes you keep pushing, it doesn't go in because you got two seals, or there is just a hard line outside and the seal is inside. It goes sideways. You push it inside of the pipe, instead of the inside the seal against it. You can pinch it, so it may go wrong. Now this way everything is on. Just to make sure it's on, just pull it and it's all good. Misty, my honey, how's the bit hole?
Good, it's good. Really good fun.
Clutch bleeding. So to bleed the clutch, you have to remove the trim around this, because this is your reservoir, this is your master cylinder for the clutch. And usually what I do, I remove this cap. So remove this, fill it up clearly, alright, to the top. You can see it when it goes here, and there's a small hole there. What I do, I get the air line, I get the air gun and blow air into this, but very gently. Then the worst case scenario, what happens is that the whole cap, it will just pop up. So you put in your pressure, so it's not dangerous. You're not gonna blow anything inside, that's fine. But if you apply too much pressure, that's keep popping up. So you have to be very gentle. It only takes a little bit amount of pressure or airflow to push the fluid through it. But you have to be careful not to run out of fluid. Before it goes down, you have to refill it. Do it 2-3 times. Now, in mid-time as you're doing this, you have to make sure that the clutch pedal, it is up, like in this case. Make sure it is up. Also, what you have to make sure is that the bleeding nipple, which is 9mm, not 8, 9mm, is open. What I like to do is to put 9mm spanner, put it in, leave it on, open it, and leave it open then. Now this has to stay there. Well, at least I like to keep it there. Right. Now, and I run this line, this line, and I put it. You see what the gearbox is? Has that thing in it, like a ring. I put it there to keep the air line, the hose inside there, because I want that fluid at the fall going on the floor, not on the body, not anything on the paint, because it's corrosive. So that protects everything inside. Of course, you can have it just open and spray all over the engine bay, but then don't moan when the paint is peeling off. Alright, so this is a bit of an awkward position, and it's gonna get even worse. Now this is something you don't have to do, but I guarantee you 100% it's worth doing. It's very uncomfortable to get in here, but this will not only speed up your bleeding process if you do it the conventional way, but also is gonna make your clutch feeling way better. Right, so you need a flat screwdriver, both pliers, and a 12mm open spanner. Yeah, let's go inside there. If you're big lad, bigger than me, nah, you got no chance. I'm pretty much the limit how to get here. So get your missus to do it for you if you're bigger than me. Right, I will try to not lose my phone from my pocket first of all, and squeeze inside. This is pretty much what I am. Yeah, it is not comfortable at all, and plus I have to do it one-handed. Oh Jesus, yeah, it's not comfortable at all. So first you will drop that pedal down. You see, I don't know, maybe see it upside down or something. So that green thing, if you push it, yeah, is this one here. You get a little bastard out. Get it out. Don't need it. Okay. Now is pretty much the limit to where this can go, and you can unscrew the screw and adjust it. But I found that if you remove that green bit, it's exactly what you need. But now this doesn't go all the way in because you have to now adjust the rod between the pedal and the master cylinder, which is that one, this one here. Right, the length of this is adjustable, but there's a 12mm counter nut. You have to lose that one. Yes, lose it, and then sometimes you can do it by hand, but don't think you can at this instance. So this is where a pair of pliers. Jesus, what I'm doing for these videos. I hope you really do appreciate this. And unscrew it. I hope this will turn. Okay, there you go. This way, this pedal is gonna go forward backwards as up towards here, and you're gonna remove that distance there. You see, by unscrewing this. Fuck. This can touch there, but no more than that, because then you're gonna screw with the master cylinder. What this will do, it will allow the master cylinder to pump slightly more oil quantity in your clutch bearing, your release bearing, which is hydraulic, and you want it, otherwise it will be down the floor. There you go. It's almost to the very end. Tiny bit more. So you make a touch and then stop there. So your stop is not inside the master cylinder, it's still there, but that's all. You can see through that hole there. I think this is it. Yeah. And then get the nut. Fuck me. Very, very uncomfortable. This is not the last time you have to be here, because we have to also remove the gas pedal, but that's another topic. I'm getting my back, my knees, my everything very numb. I mean, this is so ridiculous. Oh Jesus. Don't laugh, you try it, then we talk. Right, anyways, this did, it brought the clutch pedal, this is offending part, up, so you have more travel. You're on, tiny bit of pressure, and you try to do it, maybe from here, you should be able to see it. Keep the pressure up. You can see the fluid going down. Yeah? I can hear it pulling from behind. Let's go and close it. Okay, now it's closed. This is the amount of fluid come out, so it should be okay. But You never know. Let's try. Oh, I left the light on, obviously. You see? Beautiful. It is that simple. It literally bleeds itself out. One person, it probably takes, probably 3 minutes, top 5 if you want to get in lazy, make yourself a coffee. So yeah, otherwise it could be quite fiddly and frustrating. But this way, it's just super easy. And we got the clutch just like this. Now obviously we're gonna top it up because yeah, that's it. I'm not gonna film it now because you know this stuff. Top it up, put this back on, clear everything, put everything back together. Clutch is done. Clutch pedal mode is done. That's quite important. We're gonna tidy up here, remove all the lines and everything. Put the nipple on the bleeder back on. We've done with the clutch. Now we have gears. We can put the charge cooler back on. Sweet. As much as this is slightly out of the conversion explanation and instructions, it's still something that you want to check regardless. You know, I've just moved this out of the way because you've seen it was that nipple was facing there and no space for this to be to have a reasonable angle. Lo and behold, yeah, so all sort of problems this will give. That metal jubilee clip, that kind of jubilee clip on that thing, with that corner, with that bend, everything is just wrong at so many levels with so many bits. So yeah. Alright, so let's go through what you get in the charge cooler kit. Obviously the mount, we went through how it works, the spacer, the bolts, adjustability and so not. Oh, before we got into that, there is one thing that we have to mention. That at this point, before you put the charge cooler on, you may as well adjust your cables. Now these are possible to adjust if you have the ramp from under the car, because you can put a long socket, extension with a socket 10mm and do these nuts from underneath. But you know, when you have the access from the top, that's actually easier. May as well do it now as I'm speaking this. I may as well do what I preach, do I, before I show you what's in the charge cooler. But as I already started, I do want to show you what's in there. So this is the box, and so these charge coolers, we have them delivered black or grey, and we have no control over it. So you get what you get. In this case is grey, so grey is gonna be. This is the only thing that changes. This is a piece of 2-inch pipe that I had laying around, well, it's brand new, but I'm gonna use this. And then you have all these jubilee clips for everything. Open them up. These sometimes they're black, sometimes they're blue, unfortunately, and again this is something we have no control. It is such a specific size. These are produced for us specifically, so we have a control of the color. We always order them black because these you can't order them. You good? Yeah, you can't have them from anyone else, so these are specifically built for us. Now, so you have this one, a shorter piece of this, like that. You have all this jubilee clip that is needed. In this case, this is not something you're gonna have. This is something that the customer bought, and this is your map sensor, brand new map sensor. Yeah, which is great. And also you have one of these, which is a map sensor pipe. This one goes that way. So we put it this way here, and we need new bolts to go with it. Be gentle, there's an O-ring there. Roughly. Alright, So you have to get your pipes and everything going from kind of around there. Now it's not assembled yet. I'll show you why it's not assembled yet. So kind of like that has to go in there. So there's plenty of space to do it. You just have to be patient. Right? See, it's not bad. Now you have to align everything up, and that's why you have to wiggle it around it. Sweet. So on the first one, what you cut off is about 70 mil, and on the large part, what you cut is about barely 30 mil. I would say 28 mil, between 25 and 30 mil. 25. Better less and cut a bit more later. So 25, 70. Right? You cut that off, and you end up with something like this, which you're just gonna slide in. I didn't film it because I really need two hands to do this. This is not possible with one hand. A bit fiddly. And again, I think it's still worth doing that for the benefits, but yeah, you need two hands. So behind there, you see, is that ball there. You have to put it on, please. On this one, you can, maybe camera doesn't show it, but you can kind of see where the thread is, the half of the thread is. I just at least align it so you have the position of this, and then I want you to get that bit there, that aluminium bit. You can see the gap between this and the threaded body. That's what you need. That's good. That's fine. No problems. Just fiddle with it, move it until you have that exact angle and that match. Yeah. See how tight it is, everything. Actually that silicone touches on the bucket, no worries. And that side is actually fixed on the chassis. There is no movement between this and the chassis, so that can touch, no problems. There's going to be some movement between the threaded body and this side, so all the flexi happens here, so no problems there. But again, it's tight, so you have to get it precise. Now once you have this precise, well, let me see. So once we got that, just be careful not to move it anymore from there. You remove the bolt from behind. There you go, and then gently and careful not moving that, because that's your setup. You remove it. Again, there is a space to do it. If you struggle, just slow down, be patient. When you put this clip, don't put it straight as you cut the silicone pipe, because depending on how you cut the silicone pipe, you may cut it on a piece, so there's going to be a piece. Put it on 90 degree towards the, compared to the aluminium part, so like this. Yeah, I haven't done a great job cutting this straight, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's still straight. So there you go, and you put it all nicely there. You have to put the bolts on this side on the Jubilee clips, because on the other side there's no space. It's almost touching the bulkhead. Nice and tight. These are big. These are stainless marine grade. They're not coming off. So don't worry about running a lot of boost. Nothing's going to happen. Nothing bad is going to happen. And obviously now we can literally measure the length of this. So from here to the welds, which is 40 mil. Now you can measure, because we know between the threaded body and pipe there's only a couple of mil distance, and that is 30 mil, so it gives us a total of 70 mil. 70 mil plus 2, 72 mil. So what we have is 72 millimeters of this. I measure it. Both go to the bottom, these ones. So that one we can pretty much have it bolted, but we'll leave it for now. If you're not gonna put this on, you're gonna have a massive boost leak, so this is kind of like a blanking one. At this point you really have to guide it so the silicone hose goes on the throttle body. It's almost there. There you go. And this in, I just have to put the clamps up proper, push that tiny bit more in, one goes here and the other one obviously goes here. Right, after we got all of that proper, you see that silicone pipe in proper, make sure everything is in place, then you put that bolt there on adjustment. Alright, tight even by hand, that's fine, or by tool, just nice and fairly tight. Don't forget that is an actual adjustment, and once we have, because obviously here is in place, adjusted the right width of the charge cooler, we have to stop the adjustment from losing these nuts and stop going up and down. It has to be nice and solid the way you do it, because the bolts are underneath. And the way we design this is there is a space between the charge cooler itself and the main bracket, and that space is dedicated for the heads of the bolts with some spare space. So again, one-handed is a bit fiddly. So here's a space for the spanner to go in, catch on the bolt. I can see camera is in the way. Once at least one of them is tight enough, you can then remove this one here. Alright, and lift the charge cooler enough to have more space underneath to do the second one. You see there's two of them. Camera's not going to catch it. You see there? There's two of them. Now you see, okay, well, you know, it's a bit fiddly. Why would you do it? Well, we do it for performance, and I say this is probably one of the fiddliest part of this conversion, but it's definitely worth it. Because you do it once, you don't have to remove it, you don't have to check it, you don't have to get it out to change the oil or anything like this, so it can be there for a long time before you have to remove it again. And plus, once you've done it once, is actually all right, it's not too bad. Now could I make more space for the bracket on the bottom? No. Could I make more space for be more comfortable pipes underneath there? No. Could I make more space for here? Again, no, without going quite smaller, much smaller charge cooler, and a rather bigger charge cooler, and limiting the space around it. The space is enough, but just if you're thinking there's just enough space for the bolt head over there, there's just enough space to run those 3.5-inch elbows and that, and as you can see there's just enough. If you look, the angle of that charge cooler is richly on the angle of the body there. We have used every single quarter of the inch of the space here. Obviously if you see the bracket is at the lowest point, it is a very shallow one. I've used literally every single millimeter, actually not even a quarter of an inch, and it took me some time to actually fit everything in that position so everything was possible, because you look at the beginning, you look like this is just not going in, and I managed to find that space, but it is quite fiddly to put it in again only the first time, and then once you know it, is like, yeah, it is a bit tight, but it's actually not too bad. A small trick, 6mm Allen key, and then you've there wedged, and resting on the cylinder head, and it gives you enough space to do those. Yeah, so it's actually, like I said, not that difficult once you know. Talking about tight, it's just enough space to put a spanner here. Turn this bolt, see? But there is enough space for it, so don't moan about it. It is possible. There you go. Nice. Anyways, the almost final puzzle of the charge cooler setup as a boost pipes goes, because again, cooling is a different matter, is this. It's this one here. Let me put you here. Let's see what you see. There you see clearly. So, you put it there. On the charge cooler itself. Nice tight fitment. And then simply goes on the turbo, obviously with dedicated, you see, this is, I've designed this to be exactly that, to fit this charge cooler with a KO4 turbo or KO4 hybrid turbo, because again, hybrid turbo is still using the KO4 frame. So this is, you know, 350, possibly nearly 400 brake horsepower setup, 380, we say 350, 380, using all the kit. And trust me, at nearly 400 brakes, this thing is flying. So again, all standard fitment, standard charge cooler, standard exhaust, which is 3-inch. Nothing is a limiting factor here. Now, I didn't put the Jubilee clips on. Well, sorry, the Jubilee clips, the clamps on, because it's not the other time to put this on. I want you to do one final thing. Now, is the vacuum, well, the pressure, sorry, and 75 valve. So this one here is atmospheric, this long one. Am I correct? I have to check it out, but I think I'm correct. I think the long one is atmospheric, is ventilation. This one here is you pressure control, so this one goes down to the actuator. So this one here, obviously you have to change it because it's ripped. And this one here is you boost this pressure. Now, and there is a boost pipe here, and from that boost pipe there is a nipple, and this one goes here. So that is your boost takeoff. In this case, we don't have any. Now, sometimes you have it on the turbo itself, on the compressor, roughly here or somewhere around there on the compressor. And be my guest, that's one way to do it, and it's pretty really good way to do it if you want to do that way. Because sort of standard turbos, they have it that way. What I do, I put it here, because it's very good, it's very close to your boost control valve. If you want to use a Mach 1 or different one, you can place it or whatever here. It's a very good point to use it here. So I'm gonna show you how to do it. To place the camera in a place, no, you're good, you're good. So 8mm, doesn't have to be exactly there, but that's a flat surface, so we're using that. Nice and square, don't go on a pitch. Same that we use for the fuel pump sender return line fitting. Gentle, yeah, do it by hand, don't do it with a drill bit, with a drill, like I do. Check. Drop everything behind it. Yes, this will do. Okay. And they said, well, you can't do it, you can't drill that stuff because all the shit, all the bits of aluminium is gonna go inside. This is nice and brittle, so it cuts nicely. Well, you're right, unless you do it this way. And you have all the filth, all the stuff on the rack, and it's all clean, there's nothing there. There's never nothing there. You can check it, you can blow it, you can make sure, blah blah, but that's how I do it, and I have no problems with it. Now, clearly, obviously, I'm showing the way I do it. If you want to do it better way, which is safer, really, I do it because again, I'm comfortable. I've done 100 times and I know what I'm doing. But if you don't do it the safer way, you do it with the charge cooler on the table and you can blow it after, blah blah. However, I find it that if you blow it after with the air, you can actually go, throw the bits of aluminium in between the vanes. They may get stuck and then unstuck on the later date. It may actually find its way inside the engine. Very unlikely, but it may happen. My way looks a bit more sketchy, but it's actually safe because there's no risk of anything going on there. Everything has been collected on the rag and I removed that rag. Just make sure it's big enough. So that's it. Nothing else to it. Now we're gonna there's no need of sealant tape on this because again this is tapered. The more you screw it in, the more it seals on itself. It's nice. And I'm gonna put it so it orientates roughly there where the valve is. Nice. Really like those because they fit just perfectly. That's the exhaust. This is the bumper, the under the bumper exit. So this is the stealthy one. If you see, the bumper actually finishes roughly there where this plastic is, and this hides just under it, so you can't see it. This is what we call it stealth. See, produces nice noises, nice and square with the chassis, with the subframe and everything. 2 V-bands, 2 hangers, light. This is probably lighter than just the catalytic converters alone on the 1ZZ. So yeah, this is it. Sweet. So we got the battery hooked up, temporary obviously, and yeah, let's see if it starts and let's see how long it's gonna take the exhaust to get some discoloration, at least there. Hey, let's see if it starts. Throw the pedal here for a moment, because why not? Engine management light probably is going to be on because we have disconnected a lot of, well, we have to get them up in anyway. Oil pressure went off already. Charging is there. We got no codes on the engine. Yeah, we have a codes on the engine. Of course we have. Thing is, depending on what is, because again this has been remapped because obviously bigger injectors, bigger everything, with a different air filter, different exhaust, so this map doesn't much, but this is not even smooth. However, it could be just a very rich starting map, like a cold map. I can't get it warm because I don't have a coolant in yet. This is just the first startup to see if everything works, if I can close everything. After this, no, once you know you got all the sensors and all the stuff, you have to go for mapping, because again, if this was a standard engine, plug it in as it is, with my ECU, because our ECUs are already programmed and have already have the stuff removed what's not in the car, because that ECU obviously is supposed to see a lot of stuff that is actually not connected because it comes from Audi TT. So when that ECU is in the car, there's a lot of other things that the ECU sees, and which is not necessary, but you still have to remove them. If you don't remove them, it may cause problems like, well, problems or no problems, I don't know, because we have to look into the map. But if it is a problem, it could be overfueling because some of the sensors missing, stuff that is again not needed but hasn't been removed from the map. So when we're dealing with the standard engines, we provide the map specifically designed for that. When we're talking about the tuned engine and the issue that already been tuned and modified in the standard car, which this is not,